All right, welcome everybody to the Trader Circle, May 11th, 2025, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. If you are a mother and you're here, thanks for being here on your day. Apologize for starting a little late, but we made it. We're alive. For those who are new here, this is pretty much a group coaching session, so you can ask me whatever you want, and we'll go over it. We can going over strategy, any mindset or psychological things that you may be having trouble with. We'll talk about it. So with that being said, you guys start putting whatever you want in the chat. You can come off mute. Doesn't really matter. Everybody shy, huh? I guess I have to bring up some other questions. Let me bring up the questionnaire. All right, so is Ashley here? I don't see Ashley. Tanisha, if Tanisha's here, let me know. I don't see your name. Eloise, what futures platform do you trade or do you trade on? I use Tradeovate personally because what's the word? The margin requirements are a lot lower than usual. So let's say, for example, if you want to trade one micro, it's $50. But if you trade, let's say on Thinkorswim, you need like 1,700 to trade one micro. And your account needs to be minimum. What do they have it at? Your account needs to be minimum 25,000. So Thinkorswim or Schwab margin requirements way too high, but Tradeovate pretty cool. You can connect your Tradeovate account to your TradingView account, so you can actually place trades on the chart. So if you find it convenient to just chart on TradingView, let me move this over. You can actually place trades here. So let's say if you wanted to trade MES or the micro ES or S&P futures, you can connect your Tradeovate account to this and just take the trades on the screen. So let's say if I wanted to buy a limit and then my stop loss was under this 3 candle, and let's say my take profit was up there, I'll just set the order and then I'll just wait until it fills me, assuming that's a setup, of course. But yeah, Tradeovate, super easy platform. I prefer to place the trades there just because it's much quicker than TradingView. But you're welcome to check out the Tradeovate video I have on my YouTube channel where I go over how to use it and stuff. And if you like it, you can consider it. There are other ones like TradeStation. I use TradeStation like twice, but I had it connected to my TradingView. So technically, I've only ever used it on TradingView, not like in and of itself. But yeah, short story, Tradeovate is the one that I use. Of course. Sam asked, for those who can't see the chat, if you do 2 losing trades in a row, do you stop trading for the day? Do you have any rules like that? Yes, sir. So I personally do 3 losing trades. It doesn't matter if it's like in what order. So if it's like, if I lose, then win, then lose, then win, then lose, I'll stop for the day. Or if I lose 3 in a row, assuming I even get that many setups, if it's so, as you know, I only trade from 9:30 a.m. Eastern time to 12 noon. So if I'm at 2 losses and it's at 12 noon, then I'll just stop for the day because I don't really trade anything after that anyway. But if I hit 3 losses before that, I usually stop because one, either something's going on with the market something's going on with me, or just the trades aren't working that day. And I'd rather not take a big loss, right? Because losing is normal, right? It's to be expected. We can't avoid losses. Losses are inevitable in this business. You can't get out of it ultimately. So some people that I know use two losing trades in a row, or even just in general, and then they stop for the day. I personally enjoy using three. That works for me. You can see what works best for you, but three is what I personally do. Welcome, Wendy, Dominic, Fortis, PT. Yeah, and even if the two losses are like in the first hour, it is what it is. Tomorrow's another day. Is G Brown in here? Brown, I think you are in here. At least I'm
Yeah, I'm
assuming by
here.
your
I'm here.
perfect. You wanted to go over how to trade with a 9 to 5.
Yeah,
In your case for your job, are you are you behind a desk? Are you like driving or like
I'm
do
behind the
you?
desk mostly for like 6 hours of the day probably.
Mhm.
But it's just
The
that I get sometimes I get a little distracted, people come and distract me, talks to me. So that's been my issue. I lost a few dollars because of that, and I just got a little distracted. I was in some
Mhm.
trades, got distracted, and then I got caught out there. Just any advice? Maybe do more swing trading, something like that.
Swing trading would definitely be good in your situation. Um, when you get into these trades, do you set like hard stop losses? Like the losses that you've gotten, was it because it went further past where you should have gotten out at, or what exactly?
Yeah, most likely I get further, like uh, the trade is doing good, then hit my stop loss and it just triggers it, and sometimes I just missed it. I didn't do soft, I didn't do like a hard stop. I did like a soft stop,
Hmm.
and then it just went against me.
When people come into your office, do you have the ability to like mess with the trade for like 30 seconds before they take your attention?
Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes it's just a quick pop in the head, and then and then so I'm in a 5 minutes conversation.
Gotcha. Um, One thing that I would probably do in your situation, or if I was in your situation, definitely swing trading might be a little more beneficial because you don't need to really manage them like that once you get in. When you're day trading, what platform do you use to trade on?
I use uh Thinkorswim.
Thinkorswim.
Yeah.
What I would probably have you do if I were in your shoes, do you use the active trader tab on Thinkorswim?
No.
Highly recommend the active trader tab.
Okay.
That way you can get in and out of the trade super easily. I don't have Thinkorswim on the computer that I'm on right now, so I can't really show you, unfortunately. Send me a direct message on Discord when we finish
Okay.
here. And then when I get back home to my computer, I'll send you how you can potentially set up Active Trader. That way you can just be in and out, right? And you can also quickly set your take profit and stop loss. So when you are like in the trade and somebody comes in, you can just like move your take profit and stop loss, or even just move your stop loss like in profit if you are in profit.
Okay.
That way, if you can't look at it, it'll at least take you out in some type of profit, or even you take profit, it can hit your take profit by itself. So you're not like missing the moves when you're supposed to get out.
Definitely. Thanks. Thank you for the advice, man. Appreciate it.
Of course, definitely send me a DM. You can send me a DM actually right now in case you or I forget. I don't know your username on Discord, but send it to me sooner than later. That way I
Okay.
just have it there.
All right.
Eloise asked, how do you use Active Trader from the phone? I don't use Active Trader on the phone. Usually, what I do is the night before, let's say, for the sake of the conversation, let me bring up my watch list real quick. Actually, we can just look at the chart right now. So let's go to the 4 hour. Let's get rid of this. Let's go to SPY. So with SPY, this is in the 4 hour regular trading hours. I'm going long above this level or short below this inside bar. So let's say if one of my targets is over here, so at this low, and then let's say my first take profit to the upside is this high over here on the 4 hour. So what I'll do is, looking at its ATR, what I'd like to do is I'll choose a strike price within 50% of the ATR. So if my trigger price is 565.89, let's just round up and say 566, then I'll choose maybe a 570 strike or a 567 or 568 strike. So by the time it hits my first target, I'm already in the money on the contract. Now, of course, if you can't afford more expensive ones or at the money or even in the money contracts, you may consider going a little out the money. But generally, I don't do more than 50% because if it's a choppy day, that contract is going to get obliterated. Another thing to mention as well is that I don't trade zero DTEs for SPY, IDMQQ, things like that. Unless it's like regular stock, then yeah, I'll trade zero DTEs on Fridays. But for indices, at least when I used to trade them, I'll do one DTE just because it can help mitigate the data loss if it's super choppy or if it gets choppy. So if I was going long, just writing it here, I would choose a, let's see, 568 through 570 call. And then if I was short, my trigger price is 563, and then the first target is 561. So I'll probably do like a 562 to a 559 put. Whoops. And with the ATR being $12.60, half of that is what, $6.30. So I wouldn't choose a strike price that goes more than about this amount. So 557 will probably be the furthest that I go out to the short side. And then to the long side, about 572. That'll be the furthest I go personally. Cool. PT asked, can you explain macros during day trading and how to trade with macros? PT, do you mean in terms of like ICT concept macros? I don't really trade ICT, so I can't really explain that 100%. If you mean like how to trade on the lower time frames, we can probably go into that, but I don't really know ICT like that to kind of give you a proper answer. When you're trading, what time frame do you usually trade on? Also, I see your mic open, but I don't hear you. 5, 15 minute, and the 1 hour. That's usually what I trade on as well. So again, I don't really trade ICT, so I can't really give you a full rundown into that. But the way I like to organize my time frames is, let's say as an example, I don't just take any strat setup on the 5 minute. I'm usually looking for specific models, right? So like on the 5 minute, um, let's say 5 minute trade models. So I'll look for a W trade model. I'll look for a TTO and maybe a breaker block. Breaker block is probably the only ICT setup that I know how to trade since I know what it looks like. And then let's say, well, really for the 5 and 15 minute, I look for these same ones. Actually, let me organize them. So I kind of have my time frames based on specific setups. So for the 15 minute, same thing. I'll be looking for the W trade model, TTOs, breaker blocks, Momo hammer, oops, shooter setups. What else do I look like? Sometimes I'll look for the 15 minute orb. I don't take it that often, but sometimes I'll look for it. The 1 hour time frame, I only really look for breaker blocks and Momo hammer shooter setups. I don't really look for anything else. And then the kid and play model as well for these. So this is like kind of how I organize the time frames. So I'm not necessarily looking for like any type of setup. If it's like an inside bar off of broader information, like as a reversal, I'll definitely take that, like as a regular strat setup. But this is like how I like to organize my time frames. So when I'm on that time frame, I know what I'm looking for. Does that make sense? Cool. When I learn macros, I'll definitely go over it. Hey, 40. All right, let me read 40's question and then I'll summarize it for us. All right, so 40, your question is essentially, there's a video? I don't see a video unless I'm missing something. But essentially your question is, when you take signals, how can you take a signal more confidently where you yourself, when you get into it, you're confident to either stay in it or get out earlier, things like that, like how you can manage it while you're into a signal from somebody else? And what you can learn to build that confidence as well? 40, how long have you been trading? I just want to get an idea of how long you've been trading so I can give you a better answer. And while you're answering that, Um, I think Top Hat is incorporating the strat since I introduced it to the group. I'm not sure if you studied anything strat related. If you have not, I highly recommend that you check out the strat section. It has videos that I've made on it, so you can kind of follow along. I know he uses indicators. I think he has like that golden indicator that he made, some EMAs as well that he uses. I don't really use um, EMAs. Like the way you see my chart is pretty much how I trade, minus, there's no broader informations here. But now we have some broader informations. So this is pretty much how I trade when I'm trading, right? Just strat, broader information, and price action. I don't really like to keep it more complicated than that. I used to use indicators when I first started trading, but to me, the strat is just a lot more simpler, and the EMAs are lagging behind price action. So let's say, for the sake of the conversation, let's say if we got into this reversal, this two up, two down reversal over here. Oops. The strat is going to get us right here as soon as this candle breaks this previous low. Now the EMA might get us in on this second candle or even this third candle. So for me, because the EMAs are lagging indicators and it follows price action, it never really made sense to me to um, take EMA trades once I discovered the strat, because I'm getting in earlier on the strat anyway, whereas EMAs, you're getting a little bit later. However, I will say this: if EMAs help you, definitely continue to use them, because again, you don't want to, like for me, whatever makes money, just do it, right? What works for you may not work for me. What works for me may not work for you. And if the EMAs may give you some more confluence, you can definitely use that. But ultimately, I would start off with learning the strat. There's a whole strat section that I made in there, so you can check that out. If you don't know where it is, I'll tag you in it and let me know. Um, but yeah, the biggest thing I would say is, since I know he uses the strat, you're going to want to learn that as a base. And then you can ask around the group, see what EMAs he uses. I'm not sure which ones he used, so I can't really talk about that. But yeah, something that you can look into. I know he live trades as well. I don't think he talks about the strategy too much on live trading just because it's public. But I would definitely also ask in the group. When I used to take signals, I would always like see the idea and see what I like about it. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't take it at all, even though he's like on point with all his signals. Um, I just don't like blindly going into trades personally. So I'll go in it and still have like my own idea of where I'm going to be getting out. Because when it comes to the signals, he may not want to, he may, hey, Dad, he may not be giving you like when he's going to get out, when he's going to take profit, things like that. So you still want to have an idea for yourself when you're getting into those trades on what exactly you want to do.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Well, my target goal every day is about 400, and then if I get that and I have a lot of BP left, I'll try to shoot for 800.
Like the like buying power for other trades.
Yeah.
How many what percent
I
of your
don't know.
account
I
did
don't
you
know
put
if
in a
it'll
trade?
upload or not.
1,200 that you're working with right now.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. And you put 400 in a trade.
Uh, well, let me open it. Uh, no, this one was 2,000.
Wait, you put 2,000 in a trade,
Hello?
and your account is how much, if you don't mind me asking? And you could direct message it to me if you don't want to say it out loud. It's fine.
That day.
Oh, it's not too bad. Uh, with that amount that you have, I would probably limit it to 1,000 per trade, personally. Maybe 1,500 at the very, very max.
Yeah.
Because if you use the
Oh,
2K,
it's uploaded.
the 2K might, depending on their stop loss, that can eat away a good amount of your account, and you really just want to be surviving.
Oh yeah, no,
So
he's a terrifying trader. He always puts it at about 50%.
50% stop, that's not too bad. If I'm going to be taking a 50%
For
stop
top, he
loss,
usually does, yeah.
I would probably do maybe like 750 max. That's just me. If you're more aggressive, that's perfectly fine. I'm more conservative with mine, so um, I'll probably limit the loss to like 300 to 400 a trade. And with their track record, your account won't blow up with those, from what I've seen anyway. But yeah, definitely study up on the strat. That way you have an idea. It'll help. I live trade Tuesdays and Fridays, so I'll post a link I'll post a link this Tuesday on the chat. I might trade Wednesday or Thursday with you guys again, so keep an eye out for that one in the morning, around 9:15. For those in 100Ks group, I post the trading link in the futures chat around 9:15 a.m. so you can check it out there. We just come together. I mainly trade futures. Sometimes I'll talk about options. It'll just be too much for me to talk about both at the same time. So I usually stick with just futures. But yeah, hopefully that helped. Brown, I got your message. I'll definitely get back to you tonight.
Thank you.
Of course. All right, let's see what else we got. Alay, you wanted to go over anything and everything. If you can give me more specifics, that would definitely be fantastic. Shane, I don't see in here. Ashley, I don't see in here. Hey, Wendy, do you want to go over the stuff that you mentioned, or do you want to go over that another time?
All right, Lisa, can you hear me?
Say it again.
Yeah, okay. Which means you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can definitely go around and right now, if you don't mind.
Sweet. And we can go over more,
All
when we
right.
have more
All
time.
right. All right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So you said you needed a better understanding of my watch list. Like what
Yeah, I mean,
specifically?
okay. Knowing that you actually trade, maybe I'm mistaken, the New York
Mhm.
set. So I put like a copy of your watch list on my trading view, And usually when I wake up in the morning, the zone that you map on the trading view, the target zone for the entry, for the buy and sell, usually I'm kind of like falling behind the market. So when I wake up in the morning before the New York session, I realize that sometimes the market already get like above the line that you set up for the buying, or
Mhm.
or above or under the line that you set up for the selling. So I want to know if I should just like set up an alert so I can be on time by tracking them, or do I just have to just like pay attention to the New York session and still waiting for a retest on the specific zone that you put on your watch list?
So I don't really do any retests. You can. I just don't like doing the retest. Um, when it's a really volatile week, you'll get like gap up or downs. When the gap ups or downs happen, I kind of just let the trade go. Um, I don't choose every single one from the watch list. I just choose one or two. Usually, I'm just trading options on Tesla, so that's really all I'm using from the watch list. The other ones I just give to you guys because people kept on asking me for like SPY and QQQ and stuff, so I just left them there permanently.
Mhm.
But let's say as an example for SPY for tomorrow. Actually, let's look at let's see what futures are doing. All right, so we have a huge gap up on futures right now.
Definitely.
That's what, about 32 points, 33 points, pretty much hitting these highs. Let's go back to SPY. So looking at SPY, price is probably gonna open up maybe somewhere like up here, right? Like
Mhm.
this. So somewhere around there. In this case, the 4-hour trigger, it's moot, right? Like there's nothing for me to take because this trade I needed to open up as an inside bar to get me in as soon as it triggers. If it doesn't open up as an inside bar and it gaps up or down, I just leave the trade alone. However, that's where the other setups come into play, right? So if I miss the initial 4-hour entry, I can either take a 15-minute orb or I can be looking for a TTO to get in on the trend. Because if it is a trend day, a TTO is going to print. We just have to be there to catch it. So I'll just go on the 5 or 15-minute and then I'll just wait. Now, when we have volatile news, like, with the tariffs things, with the tariff stuff, we're pretty much going up and down on like every other day, which is annoying if I do say so myself. Like only on Friday, we actually opened up as an inside bar and then we triggered to the downside once we broke that low. So if anybody took that, you got at least a dollar and change. Nothing crazy, but decent for Friday. At least the action that we got on Friday anyway. So if the 4-hour um, gaps up or down, just skip that initial setup. I would say this though, if it gaps up and then it comes back and makes a 3 down or a 3 up, I'll take that trade because a 3 is still a valid trade, right? So let's say right here on this 3 candle, it may have triggered down and then it came and went 3 up. I would take the 4-hour break to the upside because if it gaps up or down, it's only gapping up in one direction. We can still take the other direction as well. So that's still valid if it happens. I only do that gap up if it happens in the morning. I do not take that like nearing the afternoon, like right before the other candles about or right until like I think what 1:30. I think 1:30 when the first candle closes. Yeah, 1:30. That's when the second candle opens. So if it's like 125 and then it triggers a 3 up or down, I'm not gonna take it because one, I'm not trading during that time, and I don't want to babysit it and be on the chart for longer than I need to. So this is why I have all the other trades that I tell you guys to study up on, or even your own trades, so you have backups. If the 4-hour doesn't work, we have the W, TTO, Kid and Play, Breaker Block, Momo Hammer Shooter setups as a backup. If let's say there's no TTO that appears, we have the other ones as a backup. So that's how I like to um, take the 4 hour if it even sets up. Most of the time, or at least a good amount of the time, it doesn't set up properly. At least not recently because of all the volatile news. And again, if it skips us, that's okay. Tomorrow's another day. We should never be desperate enough to jump in a trade, because if you were to get in on this trade, we already gapped up over the first target. It's not even going to be worth it because our risk is going to be increased and our reward is going to be decreased. So, something to consider.
Makes sense.
Make sense?
Yeah, definitely. So what I will definitely gonna do, I'm just gonna set up an alert for it because like I used to like ever since I started getting really, really serious about the futures because I most like trade Forex and the strat is working perfectly with Forex. My setups are working and I'm kind of like killing it. I'm trying to kind of like swing in between Forex and futures. And recently I wasn't doing pretty good on futures. So I'm doing perfectly fine on paper trade. I don't know if it's maybe I mean the account that I'm okay. I'm currently on a challenge right now for the futures market, and the account that I'm purchasing right now is a 50K just to just
Mhm.
an entry level. And they give me a demo account which is like 150K. Yep. So
Yep.
usually when I take like the setup on the 150K, I always reach my target. I'm doing
Hmm.
perfectly fine on the demo account. But when it comes to real trading, the challenge, my setups are good, but usually the market come back, take my stop loss, and go s- straight to the direction that I was aiming for.
Hmm.
I just wanted to know, I mean, I mean, most likely I trade NQ,
Hmm.
not the mini NQ. I mean, I realize that sometimes I don't want to go over like my daily loss, and I'm not aiming on taking two trades a day. So usually the market just like gonna kick me out and just go straight to the direction that I was aiming for. I don't want to increase my stop loss. I probably gonna, I don't know, maybe trade the micro, I think.
Yeah, you definitely shouldn't be trading minis on a 50K.
Oh yeah, man, I'm kind of man. It's killing me knowing that my setup is good. The market just like gonna just like kick back, kick me out, and then go straight to my direction. And then on paper trading, I'm doing perfectly fine. I just wanted to know like if there's any specific advice that I can use to overcome that.
What I would challenge you to do
Mhm.
is I would use one or two micros on the 50K just to get like used to it. I would probably use a maximum of like four micros on a 50K. But what I would challenge you to do is for the next month, if you just got the 50K, just use um, 2 to 4 micros and take your setups as you normally would. Because what may be happening is, let's say, not this past week, but the week before, if you were doing great and then you did bad this week, the market can, like, you may have been doing everything exactly as you should be, which I'm going to ask you next. Um, However, the conditions were different this week, right? So this week was FOMC, super volatile, super indecisive, until Jerome let us know what he was deciding. So um, for the rest of the month, definitely take your setups and your trades as you normally would, and definitely let me know how that works. I would highly recommend you let me know every day that you trade so I can review the trades with you. I've never, depending on the strategy, I've never been one to like, just use a bigger stop loss, because what if you use a bigger stop loss and now you're getting stopped out the same amount, but with a bigger loss now? It might just be market conditions, because
I
whether you're
mean, that's what
using
happened.
like,
That's what happened to me on my last trade. So I said to myself, like, I think like my the limit that I have on the 50K, it's 2K. So I said I'm just gonna break it down in like 300 a trade. So if I lose 300 on the account, it's done for me. Okay.
Mhm.
So on my first day, I lost the 300. I said, okay, I might be good. The next day, I mean, I was paying attention to the market, and the market was going like specifically in the direction that I was aiming for. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, maybe I was just like I need to just like pay attention to my setup. And I was like, okay, everything went well. It's just like the market kicking me out. Okay, it's not that bad. It's just like one trade. The next day, it was like the same scenario. So I said, okay, let me give the market a little time. So after like I think I was waiting for a shooter, and I got that shooter specifically on the line that I was supposed to sell, and I took the trade. So the market was like, okay, taking a sweet time. The moment that I just entered a position, after a few minutes, it was just like going straight to my direction. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a risk and just like a little bit like going a little bit over my stop loss, which was like 300, and I said like, let me set up like 400.
Mhm.
And then it kicked me out again. And I realized that, oh, I took two losses. And then I went like from 300 on this on the first loss the same day and 400 on the second loss. I'm like, that's a bad news for me. Let me go paper trading. And when I went back paper trading, I was doing perfectly fine.
That's actually hilarious because that's happened to me before. That's why I want you to just only use the regular account. Um, you mentioned your stop loss is like it's more like of your daily loss limit. Um, I would never arbitrarily just increase my stop loss or my daily loss limit from like, let's say 3 to 400, 3 to 500.
Yeah.
I'm more so going to be looking at the setup, like the setup itself. Can I refine the stop loss? Let's say, for example, let's look for a TTO real quick. Let's go on the 15-minute. Let's see. I want to look. I want to find a clean one for you guys. Let's bring regular hours. Also, Sam, the strat. If you're going to be using it like the indices and stuff like that, it's kind of the same thing in my eyes. Because if you're trading NAS 100 and you're trading NQ or MNQ with the strat, it's the exact same chart.
Oh, you wanted to know if that's what work on Forex. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what type of currency is trading, but it's definitely working. You just need to seek for divergence, which currency is strong and which currency is weak, so you can have a better setup.
Sounds like Wendy's going to have a master class for Forex. I'm
I mean,
here for it.
that's one thing. I'm doing pretty great on Forex.
Yeah, to me, pretty much the same thing. Because even XAU, that's pretty much gold, and gold is gold. Same exact chart, same everything. You're just trading the futures version or Forex version, or even stocks if you look at the like the ETF, if you even want to do that for options. But all the same chart in my eyes. This is not the cleanest. Actually, let me find you a good one because I don't want to give you
You
guys.
had one right in front of you.
Yeah, there was one there, but I want to show a better example. Let's use. Here's one on the 5-minute.
Yeah, definitely. One right here.
So the TTO, for those who don't know how to spot it that well, we're just going to be looking for this type of shape. Whoops. Price comes up. Oh, whoops. Let me make it a little cleaner. Price comes up, pulls back, keeps on going higher. There's our completed TTO. Once it
So
breaks.
for myself, the way I kind of like identify, I mean, I go by your example, but the way I kind of like identify since I trade supply and demand, you see that yellow one armor candle right here?
This one?
Yep, I took it from the like okay, the one on okay. You see when the market give you the rally and kind of like went out yes, get down a little bit lower. No, on the left side. Same line on your left side.
On this side?
No. A little bit lower. Lower. In between, like,
Yes.
yeah, that can do that one. Here we
Mhm.
go. So I said, like, okay, the market
Okay.
gave me a rally. It went out like I call that a Momo hammer.
Mhm.
So I would just like put kind of like a line in between the top and the wick of that candle. Yeah, that's me. So I know like okay, the market give me a rally and it went out like a base, kind of like it create like a demed zone. If the market retests that on the TTO, that's a buy for me. That's me.
Mhm.
And on the forex market, it's always walking. The thing that I was struggling in before was like I didn't know exactly what specific time to sell or buy. But with the strat, that helped me to just like make perfect entry and to reduce my
Mhm.
stop loss. So that way I can increase my load size and make more profit on a specific trade.
Mhm.
So when I was trying to doing it, applying it on the futures market, like I said, it worked perfectly on the paper trade and not on the wheel market. I said like it's not my setup. It's kind of like I'm kind of like struggling with the stop loss. And yeah, it's definitely the stop loss.
Then to be specific, when you say stop loss, do you mean the daily loss limit or the stop loss of the setup itself?
No, 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 no. I mean, like I said, like my daily loss because, like I said, I got like they give me 2,000 to not once I if I just like lose 2,000K on the account, I just blow the account, right? So I said,
Mhm.
okay, I'm gonna break it down to 300, so which is gonna be give me like around like 6 losses in a row, which is not gonna happen.
Mhm.
But when I went on the NQ, I realized that I either gonna have to trade the micro or I need to be very, very, very specific about my trade because I can't afford to lose more than I already lost.
Yeah, I would definitely say micros are gonna be a lot better. Just so, let's say if you would take this trade, where will your stop loss be? Let
Okay,
me.
so if I'm him right now, you see that the red candle, the one that went out.
So, are
Yep.
you gonna get in on the left side or the right side?
So the right side on the retest.
Hmm.
So I know that, okay, let's say that I'm already on that trade. The market gonna pull back, I'm gonna cut off and take my profit. But
Hmm.
once the market gonna just like retest that specific area, you see like the one candle in before the green candle. Yes, once the market break down that the top week of that candle, I will end
Hmm.
up trade and I will set up my stop loss right under the week on the one candle.
So, like over here.
Yep, under it.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, this is pretty good.
And I will
Um,
just a second. I will have like different like take profit. I will have like the profit 1, 2, or 3, which I can just like go on a higher time frame to see where the market has a consolidation, what the market is doing on the higher time frame. That's probably gonna help me to stay a little bit longer on the trade.
100%. It's interesting because even on
Yeah.
a as we know about support and resistance, right? Like a lot of the things, once you look at the chart a lot, is just basics, right? Market structure.
Yeah.
We have resistance here, keeps on rejecting this area. This big candle comes and breaks through it. When we come back down, this resistance is now support, which as we can see, we're getting buys in this area. And for whoever got left behind in these wicks there. So you're pretty much just getting in with the buyers who got left behind to take it back up to the upside.
Okay.
But yeah, the stop loss is good. In this case, um, what day was this? The 5th? Let's go to MES. That was, this was the 8th. So let's just look at the same trade on MES just to get an idea. This is how I like to kind of position my setups. So in this case, our stop loss is 3.25 points, which is $15, $16.25 per micro.
Mhm.
So if my limit was, let's say, $150 or $160, then I can use the 10 micros or one mini. Probably going to do 10 micros so I can scale out of the position. So that's within my risk tolerance. So you just have to make sure that if you're going to be using $300 as your daily loss limit, that you give yourself some room for more setups. For example, if I'm going to be taking $150 loss per trade, then I can only really be using, if assuming the stop loss is 3.25 points, because it's always a little different because strat is just price action, right? This
Definitely.
candle could have been 5 points, but um, I always adjust my size according to the stop loss and the points. So if it was 5 points, that would be $25 per micro. That would only limit me to using 6 micros as opposed to 10. So in your case, if you maybe you might want to give yourself a little more room for more trades in a day instead of just maybe one or two, you might want to limit your loss to maybe $120 a trade or even $100 flat per trade.
Yeah,
Which
I would. Yeah, sorry that it isn't for interrupting you. I would definitely go for $100 a day, and I'm probably gonna just like go for the ES or still NQ, but I would just trade the micro one contract because like I said, man, I give myself enough time to just like paper trade and just like back testing. Ain't
Mhm.
no way that I'm keep taking a loss like that over and over again.
Yeah, NQ will take it from you real quick.
I mean, I'm familiar with gold. They kind of like move the same, but I kind of like realize that NQ move a little bit faster than gold.
Yeah, NQ is the most volatile. It's just straight tech.
And the way that I kind of like using trading gold, if I just like enter a trade and the market is moving, I'm just gonna move my stop loss and put myself on break even. If the market give me a pullback, I'm still gonna get out in profit. Not a lot profit, but my account not gonna be negative.
Hmm.
But NQ with the trade that I took recently, they never give me even the time to breathe, man. I was kind of like, man,
This is why I personally stay away from it.
man. I said maybe that's a little bit too fast for me. So I'm
Mhm.
down, if I'm not mistaken, I'm down. Let me check the account real quick. Boom, 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 top step. Okay. Does it, can you hear me?
What?
Yeah, I'm just gonna check the account. I'll give you an update
Oh,
about it.
you're good. While you're looking that up, 40, you mentioned about the one cross. I don't use EMAs, so I can't answer that question about the EMA crosses. That's a better question in the chat in Top Hats group.
Mhm.
One thing you can
I
do,
he doesn't do much solo stuff.
one thing you can do 40 if you want to stay in a trade longer, just trail the candles. So let's say for the sake of the conversation, if you got in
Yeah,
long
I was
on this candle,
trailing. I was trailing in the video. That's how I did all that. But I just still missed out on probably $400 just from the trail that I was doing. So what's the best percentage on a candle that's rising pretty vastly
well, I don't do percentage wise.
for a
I
stop
just do
loss?
price action based. Because if I go by percentage, I may leave money on the table. Because if I got in on this break right here, so
Yeah.
this two up break of this high, and let's say I hit my second target here, and then my third target, I can trail the candles for my runners. So every time the candle closes, my stop loss is now under that candle. Once this candle closes, stop loss is under there. Once this next one closes, and then just keep on trailing until price reverses, which
So
it would have reversed on me right here. But
with that being said,
Hmm.
let's say that the market give you pullback and kick you out. Are you gonna re-enter the trade or are you just gonna let it go?
now let it go because the trade is no longer valid. Because if I got in down here, the trade was down here. If I get kicked out on this three candle, the trade is not up here. Even though there's like a little mini Momo hammer setup, which I'll get in as another trade, but not as the same trade.
Hmm, okay.
It's happened before when it kicks me out and then goes like 200 points and then I get annoyed, but we're human. Leave it alone. There's going to be more trades.
So it'd be a different contract, or you'd be averaging in.
It'll be a different contract. So if I got in here and my contract was, let's say, 200, and then I got in here, this will be like 203 or 205. I don't use the same contracts or average up, because this is a whole nother trade as opposed to the trade down here. What's the amount that you have left, Wendy? If you found it?
Yeah, I got it. I think like I'm down 1500 and plus, which like give me like a little room. Just like I got like 400 something until I blow the account, but I don't want to do that. Which
When do you get the rebill? When does the month start, or did you just get the account?
I got I mean, I never that was my issue. When I just got it, I never really traded on the wheel account. I was just like doing the paper trading until I realized that, oh, tomorrow the morning is just gonna just like restart. I'm like, okay. I try to get in touch with like the admin stuff. They said like, okay, I just have to repay it. I'm like, okay, let me do that. So I'm like, okay, I'm doing pretty good on paper trading. Let me go down now on the wheel account. And the wheel account just like right now is whooping me, man. So okay, I'll go with your advice. Downsizing to trade Michael. I'm probably gonna stick with ES a little bit because I think like it's $5 a point. I can have a better stop loss so I can take more profit of my trade and stuff. And I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's kind of like, I mean, not really going over my head, but it's pissing me off.
I definitely hear that. Yeah, this week
I'm being like profitable on Forex, knowing it's not the same market. On paper trade on futures, I'm profitable. And when it comes to the wheel market, I'm kind of like taking a loss.
If you're available tomorrow, let's definitely talk more.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. And also, Daisy, let me ask you something about the 15-minute orb. So when you got like your setup like by the 15-minute orb, are you doing, let's say like you're taking a sell, you're going short, are you putting like your setup on top of the
Like the order type that I use?
okay, yeah. Let's say that okay, you got like your first 5-minute candle and the third 5-minute candle. So you're going short. Well, you're gonna set up your stop loss.
It's 50% of the first bar. So let's say if this was the first bar and market open, I'm not going to short this because it's really strong bullish one, but I'll just get my fib tool, mark the high and the low, and then the 50 fib is my stop loss. And this also determines my reward. So I'm taking profit every 52.5 points in my favor. So that would have been like target 1, which you just finished hitting over here on this candle. And then my next target would be at 2R, which is up here, like a 581. So 440 more points to go. And I'm using a stop order to get in. So let's say, as an example, if I was going to take a short, I'll see whatever the low of this candle is, which is 448.75.
Yep.
And then I'll do one tick below that. So I'll do a stop order. And then, of course, just adjust it to whatever it is. So I always do it a tick below it, because if I keep it right at the low, sometimes I've seen it fill me and not actually break the level. So it's still an inside bar. So this works for me.
So you're using the Fibonacci to have like you said 15%, right?
Yeah, 50% to get the exact number, because you can eyeball it, but I want to be exact. So in this case, once it broke the high over here, it wouldn't have hit your stop loss because your stop loss is down here. And then this candle right here got us in, this green one. Now, if you don't want to worry about slippage, as soon as it breaks the level, you can put a buy limit at the 50 fib. I mean, at the high, or the low of the 15-minute orb, so you can get the exact price. Because if you use a stop order, which is 477.25 will be where my buy stop would be. If it like breaks it with strength, you're gonna get slippage. So you might feel like 3 points later.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want to worry about that, you can just open up a limit as soon as it breaks that level. That way you get the exact price when it like pulls back a little bit.
And can you just like keep saying that every time the market gonna retest the orb all day long, you're gonna take the same position, or you just like it doesn't valid after a certain period of time?
Nah, I just take it once. If like so like here, right? It broke once and then it broke twice, a third time, and then fourth, and then a fifth time. Even if it comes back later on after I hit my targets and retest it, I'm not gonna get back in. I'm only gonna get in on the initial break.
Okay. Okay. And does it like look at the feeling that sometimes trading view and top step they're not moving at the same pace?
If what?
Look at the feeling that sometimes trading view and top step they're not moving at the same pace.
Top step is faster. Trading view is slow, like by a second or two.
I wasn't wrong. I was in the right because I'm like kind of like trading view is falling behind. I don't know. I mean, I thought I was a little bit crazy about that. I said, let me ask you that. So,
Yeah, top step is definitely faster. I think trading view lags like a second or two, which is annoying. Cool. All right, I got and Wendy, we can talk more tomorrow as well.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's see. 40. You mentioned Weeble desktop as well in the questionnaire. Since we're over time, definitely check out my YouTube channel. There's a video um, on how to set up Weeble desktop. I usually just use my phone when I used to use it because I'm just faster on my phone than using the desktop version. But that's just me. But yeah, uh, definitely check that out. If you can't find it, just tag me on Discord and I'll send you the link directly. Let's see, anything else? The other people with the questionnaire didn't show up, so I'll take one more question. You guys put in the chat, come off mute, and then we'll wrap up. Let's see. Nothing else? No more questions? If so, thank you guys as always for coming out. Next month, I'll definitely make this a lot more cleaner. Next week on Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we have the Let's Learn with Advent series, which I have on YouTube. So definitely check that out if you guys want to come through and ask some more questions. I'll be at home with my proper setup. Thank you guys again for working with me with the tech issue of today. But yeah, if that's all for today, thank you guys always for coming out. and answering your questions. I love doing this stuff and helping you guys out. So keep an eye out for the Let's Learn series. I'll make the live tomorrow. So you can, like, if you go to my channel tomorrow, probably you can check around like after 8 p.m. It's gonna show the next live, and you can just like hit notify, and then it'll like alert you when we're having it. But yeah, that'll be this Saturday, 7 p.m. You can ask me anything like this, except it's not gonna be on Zoom. It'll just be on YouTube. Whatever you guys want to go again. If you want to update me on what we went over today or how your week was, I'm all ears. Other than that, I will post this recording. Should be up tomorrow at 12 noon on YouTube. If you want to see the recording, any questions, as always, I'm always available. Reach out and I'll get back to you when I can. Brown, I'll get back to you. Well, he left already, so I'll get back to you tonight. I will see you guys on the internet. Enjoy your day, and I'll talk to you soon.